There's nothing special about using the internet. Millions of us do it every day. But how would your life change if you couldn't see a screen? Simply accessing the internet presents a daily challenge for more than 500,000 Australians living with a vision impairment. Siyat Abdi, 51, is blind and faces the issue on a daily basis. Many websites are incompatible with his screen reader, is a form of assistive technology that describes content on a screen for people who are vision impaired, blind, illiterate or have a learning disability. Mr. Abdi said about half the websites he visited each day were almost impossible to navigate. It's hard for us to get all the information, so navigation is one of the things, and accessing that information when there's a lot of images on the website, that's also another difficult thing, he said. Filling in forms is also a difficult thing. Mr. Abdi finds online shopping, booking flights and applying for jobs are also major hurdles. He said relying on others for help robbed him of his freedom and privacy. I feel excluded because I feel other people are able to do what they want to do on their gadgets and I'm not able to do what I want to do, so I'm finding it's a barrier to my independence, he said. Violators slapped with thousands of lawsuits. Mr. Abdi has urged businesses and web developers to ensure their websites are compatible with screen readers and include written descriptions for images. I'm sort of disappointed because I find that most people are targeting the big population and are actually not including the minority group in terms of accessibility, and that's the disadvantage, he said. The issue has been in the spotlight in the United States recently, with thousands of lawsuits filed against companies in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act 1990. That legislation provides protections and equal opportunity for individuals with disabilities to products and services. In Australia, the Human Rights Commission only received a handful of complaints last year, but disability advocates maintained it was a major problem that had slipped under the radar. WA Equal Opportunity Commissioner John Burns said the issue was not isolated to people with a visual impairment. Photo: John Burns said mandatory standards should be introduced. ABC News, Herlincourt. Generally, if you have a sensory disability, if you are blind or deaf or have a vision or hearing impairment, indirect discrimination is a commonplace everyday experience, he said. Under the Disability Discrimination Act 1992, DDA, it is illegal to discriminate on the grounds of a disability when providing goods, services or facilities, or access to public premises. But Dr. Burns said the legislation did not provide enough clarity around access to websites specifically. There aren't very many complaints in this particular area because for a blind person, they meet it every day, he said. Better standards, more education needed. Dr. Burns said there should be mandatory standards and more education surrounding the issue, as many businesses were not aware of it. If you could have standards for websites, enforceable standards, compliance standards, that would address the problem, he said. But unfortunately, electronic media is less regulated. Dr. Byrne said despite major issues facing people with disabilities, some progress had been made. Very significant progress has been made over the many years that I've been deaf, he said. It's a long way to go, but we've come a long way, so I'm not disappointed because we are progressing. The Human Rights Commission has made a number of resources available to help businesses ensure their websites comply with the DDA. Contact Herlin for more stories from Western Australia.